In this training module, you'll be learning how to drive this BR103.1 electric locomotive.
When you're ready to begin, climb aboard. Sit in the driver's seat. For this introduction, you'll be driving the train a short distance and performing passenger operations. This locomotive requires the reverser handle to be inserted before operation. Set the reverser to the neutral setting while we take over this cab. Set the headlights to indicate that this train is operational. Unlock the brakes with the brake key to allow braking to be controlled from this cab. This locomotive has two types of brakes. You'll be using the driver's brake, which controls brakes on the entire formation. If you were running as a light locomotive, you would use the direct brake, which is quicker to apply but only performs braking on the locomotive. Open the passenger doors to allow boarding. Close the doors before departure. The reverser controls the direction of travel. Now we're ready to depart, set it to the forward position.
For faster acceleration, the transformer switch can be used. This supplies the traction motors with an additional 100 volts each, increasing power output. To avoid damage to the locomotive, it should not be used for more than 2 minutes or on trains with more than 8 coaches. If too much power is applied, the MCB may trip. If this happens, set the tap changer to 0 and close the MCB to recover the locomotive.
Release the brakes and depart the station. The large wheel in the center of the desk is the tap changer, which controls power delivery in the locomotive. Set the tap changer to the power index you need and the traction motors will gradually apply the set power. The currently selected tap is shown on the dashboard. Entered service in 1970. It was designed for DB's new intercity system, so had to be capable of pulling a 400-ton train at 200 km per hour. These initial intercity services were first class only.
Second-class carriages were added later in 1979 and resulted in a large increase in popularity and demand. The addition of second-class coaches increased the weight of the trains to over 600 tons on already challenging routes. The BR-103.1 proved capable though, as its power output of 7,440 kilowatts, 9,980 horsepower, makes it one of the most powerful electric locomotives ever produced. 4 prototype and 145 production BR-103s were produced, and until 1987 it had a near monopoly on fast passenger services with speeds above 160 km per hour in Germany. It was not uncommon for individual locomotives to cover in excess of 1,000 kilometers a day. In 1985, a BR-103 set a new speed record for a German train, reaching 283 kilometers per hour. That's 176 miles per hour.
You're approaching the station. Begin applying a small amount of braking force using the driver's brake valve to bring the train to a gentle stop. Good work. That concludes all the basics of operating this train.
In this training module, you'll be learning how to drive this ÖBB 4024 electric multiple unit. For this introduction, you will be driving the train a short distance and performing passenger operations. The ÖBB 4024, also known as the Talent, is manufactured by Bombardier and entered service in 2004. The name Talent is an acronym in German for Talbot, leichter Nahverkehrstriebwagen, meaning Talbot, light suburban railcar. The ÖBB 4024 is a 4-car unit with a top speed of 140 km per hour. Now set the reverser to forward. This controls the direction of travel. Set the headlights to indicate that this train is operational. Insert the train brake handle. First, release the brakes applied by the train brake handle. Open the passenger doors to allow boarding. The ÖBB 4024 is part of Bombardier's Talent series of multiple units, manufactured by Bombardier Talbot. More than 300 Talent series vehicles have been produced and have seen use in more than 7 different countries. Close the doors before departure. To release the brakes and apply power, push the handle away from you. Now you've built up some... Coasting is a method used to efficiently maintain speed and reduce motor stress and maintenance requirements. Keeping to speed limits is important. If you begin overspeeding, apply a small amount of braking force by moving the master controller into the braking range. You're now approaching the station. Begin applying a small amount of braking force by moving the master controller into the braking range. Nice job! The train has safely come to a stop. You can now use the passenger door controls to open the doors. Close the doors and drive to the next station unguided. Good work! That concludes all of the basics for operating this train.